Good morning, everyone. I'm Jim Dean, President of the University of New Hampshire, and it is my great honor and privilege to welcome you to this exciting and historic day. For the first time, at least in this setting, let me say, congratulations, graduates, you did it. Well done. I'm so proud and delighted to see you all here, and what a beautiful and breathtaking scene it is to see you with your classmates and family, to think about how far you've come to be at UNH and the time that you spent while you're here at UNH, to know how much you've learned and grown and achieved, and to celebrate the character and talent that you have brought to the world. You're an inspiration to our university community and to the entire Granite State. So thank you, graduates. You give us tremendous hope for the future, and you bring great pride to our Wildcat family. And once again, thank you, all of our family members and guests and visitors, for being here with us today. At this point, I'd like to ask everyone to please rise as Deirdre Smith, a music performance major from Fall River, Massachusetts, leads us in our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much. Please take your seats. Good morning again, everyone. It is, of course, my great honor and privilege to welcome you to celebrate and congratulate the class of 2022. We're here for your most important ceremony in your academic lives, and one of the most important and joyful celebrations for everyone in our Wildcat family. And what a beautiful sight it is, thank you, to see you here together this morning. So even Amtrak's celebrating the Wildcats today. Really great stuff. I'd like to take a moment to recognize those who have so selflessly and generously supported the class of 2022. Graduates, at the top of the list of supporters are your families, your loved ones, and friends who have helped you to get to where you are right now. Let's recognize them with a round of applause. I'd also like to recognize those who have served our community, our state, and our nation. This includes veterans and active members of our military, as well as police, firefighters, and first responders. Thank you all very much for your service. Let's also recognize those whose work so benefits our campus community. Our dedicated workers in food service, housing, transportation, and facilities. We simply and literally would not be able to have this ceremony without them. So please join me in thanking them as well. Today, we also honor all of the outstanding members of our faculty and staff who have dedicated themselves to your success. They are why UNH is a national leader in so many of the most important measures in higher education. So thank you to all the faculty and staff. As you may know, like many of you, I arrived at UNH 4 years ago, when many of today's graduates were beginning and preparing to start the fall semester of 2018. And what a remarkable 4 years we have had together. No one could have predicted that more than half of our time together would be marked by a pandemic, which challenged us in every conceivable way. Yet through it all, the class of 2022 persevered. And while the main point of these 4 years that we've spent together was your learning, I think it's fair to say that you've taught us so much as well. You demonstrated your determination to succeed through unimaginable challenges. You showed an uncanny ability to adapt to dramatic changes in academic, campus, and social life beginning in March 2020. You wore masks and got tested regularly, which allowed us to keep our campus open much longer than many other institutions. And you helped your classmates navigate an array of mental health and academic challenges that hit college students especially hard. In fact, I would like to pause here and recognize our UNH mental health counselors, academic counselors, and our health and wellness staff members. Please, a round of applause for them. The class of 2022 has showed us how close and caring our UNH community is. Despite myriad challenges, you excelled as scholars and researchers, as artists and athletes, as volunteers and advocates. You worked closely with your faculty mentors. You engaged in science to address real-world problems. You enjoyed great lectures, live performances, and cultural fairs. You challenged yourselves and each other and our entire community to continue to create a better world. You inspired new initiatives at UNH to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion, and to address interpersonal violence. Thank you to all of you for working with us to bring our community forward together. Among you are those who have won prestigious awards for research, public service, leadership, entrepreneurship, and of course, for outstanding scholarship. In unprecedented times, you have achieved unprecedented success. You are uniquely prepared to thrive in a world that will bring new challenges and unimaginable opportunities. You've proven yourself to be talented, innovative, and intelligent team members. You are community members, community builders. You are friends and classmates for life, and you will always, always be proud members of this, our Wildcat family. Graduates, thank you for making UNH stronger by being part of our academic community. We're excited to hear about the great futures that await you, so please do stay in touch. Know that you're always welcome to come back, and I hope that you will help to mentor and support new generations of Wildcats. This is a great day for all of us. So thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2022. The graduates who sit before us today have received a world-class education from the University of New Hampshire, and I'd like to take a moment to recognize those faculty who have provided that education. Will the members of the faculty who are here today please stand to be recognized? Thank you. I'm now pleased to introduce Kevin Healy, Associate Professor of Communications and Chair of the Faculty Senate, who will say a few words to the graduates on behalf of the faculty.
Thank you, President Dean. Well-behaved women seldom make history. You've probably seen this quote attributed to Eleanor Roosevelt or Marilyn Monroe. Actually, it's from a UNH student, Laurel Ulrich, who wrote it in 1976 while earning her doctorate in history. She received tenure at UNH and went on to become a prize-winning scholar at Harvard. Since her work recounts the stories of women overlooked by history, it's ironic that her words soon took on a life of their own, wandering a strange path of misattribution and misunderstanding. Coincidentally, in 1976, after taking a series of road trips, the songwriter Joni Mitchell wrote an album called Hejira, a word meaning treacherous journey. My personal favorite, the song Amelia, refers to Amelia Earhart, the first female pilot to fly solo across the Atlantic, whose mysterious disappearance sparked conspiracy theories. Well-behaved women seldom make history, indeed. To be clear, I'm not saying you should go out and misbehave just so we can say UNH students are making history. Ulrich's point is not that you should break laws or risk your lives. It's that because of ignorance, prejudice, or ego, history overlooks many people whose lives matter just as much, but whose impact is hard to see because they've followed the less trodden paths of wisdom and humility. Nor is Ulrich saying we should embrace mindless disruption. The motto, move fast and break things, is clearly great for social media's bottom line, but not so much for democracy. The fact that our news feeds are littered with deep fakes and conspiracy theories only underscores the paradox that Ulrich describes. The most enduring change happens when we resist the drive for success and fame, when instead of disrupting to make history, we make community. We make friendships, conversation. We make each other laugh and cry with joy or forgiveness. The good news is that eventually we do recognize lives that matter. In April, after pulling her entire catalog from Spotify to protest its controversial content policies, at age 78 and recovering from a brain aneurysm, Joni Mitchell was named MusiCare's Person of the Year. The jazz legend Herbie Hancock performed Hejira, while the music pioneers Brandi Carlile and John Batiste led the ceremony. You might say the best songwriters are also historians, giving voice to what Ulrich calls the silent work of ordinary people. 2 days later, Joni won a Grammy Award for a collection, including the Student Song, written in 1965 at age 22. Who can study silly words when the creek begins to run and the crocus pops up from the ground? I challenge anyone. Now, it's off to school tomorrow with apologies and sorrow, but I've got to watch the season being born. Yes, I've got to watch the season being born. If UNH has served you as well as it did Ulrich, you will make a difference. In you, a new season is born. When the world expects anger and ignorance, you offer compassion and wisdom. Against the temptation to corruption and misinformation, you've learned to live with knowledge and integrity. If that is how you choose to misbehave, then by all means, go ahead and make some history. Congratulations, class of 2022.
I'd now like to welcome Dean Deborah Merrill Sands, Dean of the Peter T. Paul College of Business and Economics. Dean Merrill Sands.
Oops, I have to stand on my tiptoes. Thank you, President Dean. So, on behalf of the faculty and staff of Paul College, we congratulate you, the class of 2022. We salute your success, your perseverance, and your agility as you've navigated through the COVID years to reach this culminating day. We could not be more proud of you. This year, we asked our seniors to nominate a faculty member to share final thoughts with the graduating class. You bestowed that honor on Scott Berube, Principal Lecturer of Accounting. also a proud alumnus of UNH. So it's with great pleasure that I'd like to welcome Professor Berube to the podium. Thank you.
Good morning. President Dean, Provost Jones, Dean Merrill Sands, faculty, staff, parents, friends, and most importantly, Paul College Class of 2022, thank you for this opportunity to share one last lecture with you. This is the second time I was bestowed with this honor from a graduating class, and I had some concerns about having similarities with my prior speech. Then I remembered how much you remember from my Monday to a Wednesday class, or from a Tuesday to a Thursday, and realized everything I say today will appear to be brand new. If you thought today's speech would not be about accounting, the joke's on you. Let's begin. Assets equal liabilities plus equity. It sends a tingle down my spine just saying it. To be successful, you must build your assets. Critical thinking, communication, decisiveness, perseverance, fairness, enthusiasm, networking, creativity, integrity, attentiveness, patience, and most importantly and often forgotten, compassion and kindness. You must not let your liabilities stand in your way. Remember, you can learn more from failure than from success, which means some of you must have learned a lot from my classes. You may think your learning is over, but it is just beginning. It may sound odd for a college lecturer to say this, but you will learn more in the next year than you've learned in the past 4, or for some of you super seniors, 5 or more years. The best advice I received from my first boss was to prepare to know nothing. It's a scary thought, but embrace it. Learning never ends. Run towards the challenge, not away from it. We've all faced more than 2 grueling years and been pushed to our limits by the pandemic. In fact, it occurred to me that most of you had me during your sophomore year when the pandemic first started. We have persevered and done things we previously thought impossible. To succeed, you must embrace challenge and burst through any barrier that stands in your way. Over time, you'll build enough equity to accomplish any goal you aspire to achieve. Remember, there's no practice exam for life. Use your brain and follow your heart. Wield your assets, overcome your liabilities, and create the equity needed for success. Hopefully you'll be as lucky as I am and find a career that you are passionate about. And never forget to share that passion with others. In the wise words of Mahatma Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world. This is your moment. Seize it and run. We've now reached the favorite part of any of my lectures, the end. Congratulations to the Paul College Class of 2022. Go Wildcats! Now I welcome Dean Merrill Sands to the podium for closing remarks.
Thank you, Scott. Now we know, well, everybody selected you to be the faculty speaker today. So to the class of 2022, let me share one final thought with you as we move on to this next chapter in your lives and my life. With my approaching retirement in June, I've been reflecting on my own transition to a new chapter, just as I'm sure you have. For me, this is a bittersweet moment, and I imagine it is for many of you as well. It comes with sadness of leaving Paul College and a community of friends and colleagues and students and alumni who've enriched my life immensely. It also comes, I admit, with some trepidation. But most importantly, it comes with the excitement of a new beginning and a new chapter. And as we all open this page to this new chapter, you and me, I want to share a quote with you that has inspired me as I look forward. I draw on the words of Howard Thurman, a 20th century educator and civil rights leader. And he said this, it's very brief. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask yourself, what makes you come alive? And go and do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So this is your time. Be open, be curious, follow your passion, come alive, and with all of that, you will, as I have, reap a rich life full of purpose and meaning. So thank you, class of 2022, for all you've given to Paul College. And one final congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dean Merrill Sands. I'd now like to welcome this year's Student Body President, Sophia Spina, and this year's Student Body Vice President, Alex Colella, both members of the class of 2022, who will introduce our keynote speaker.
Welcome, class of 2022, to the day we never thought would actually come. We're here to celebrate the acquisition of knowledge, logic, and accomplishment, but what we have gained here goes beyond a diploma. As our time at UNH comes to an end, we realize Durham is not just where we go to college, it's home. Our friends have become a family that has become so close as our time here comes to an end. UNH is a place where faculty encourages us to prioritize our well-being and shoot for the stars. It's a place where peers encourage us to break out of our shells and go to bingo on a random Wednesday. It allowed us to find the people we can't live without. And though we may not be a room away from these people anymore, our journey as friends has just begun. We may not remember every walk to class or camp coat trip. We'll remember the excitement of when we first came to UNH and the opposing feeling as we leave.
No matter how much we love to take exams or write a discussion post with at least 2 comments, outside the classroom is where we did the learning. We learned how to navigate the world and advocate for ourselves. No matter how old we'll feel at homecoming games, Durham will always be home, but now without groaning when it's time to pay tuition. We learned to grow, empathize, laugh, and celebrate together, and it was worth every penny. Though our family wasn't a part of the Wildcat family we developed here, they were always there cheering us on, and for that we say thank you. We wouldn't be here without the corny dad jokes or care packages getting us through. We also wouldn't be here without each other. These last 4 years have thrown a lot at us, but we persevered together. We're all about to embark on new journeys without the comfort of D-Hop being a short walk away. UNH has allowed us to find our paths and to grow as leaders. Regardless of the parking tickets or how many times you slipped on ice walking to class, we'll remember our time in Durham fondly. UNH shaped each of you as much as you've shaped UNH, proving Troy Bolton's statement to be true. Once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat.
And our next speaker can attest to that. Martin Kimani graduated from UNH in 1996 and has accomplished so much since. He served as the director of the National Counterterrorism Center and as a special envoy for countering violent extremism in Kenya.
He is now Kenya's ambassador and a permanent United Nations representative. Martin has changed the world in ways we all hope to, and it all started here. So without further ado, Ambassador Martin Kimani.
Good morning, President James Warren Dean, staff, faculty, parents, and the resilient COVID battling class of 2022, I greet you. I sat where you are now a long time ago. I want to urge you to think back about who has been critical in your journey. Very few of us walk alone. You sitting here are held aloft by responsibilities carried, sacrifices willingly made, and a deeply felt, committed love. Let us give a big hand to the parents who are here and those who could not make it for any number of reasons. Let us give thanks as well to those friends and family who have touched our lives in some way that allowed us to be here today. For my commencement,
my mother flew to Boston from London to make sure I had really graduated. She is in Portsmouth today, this time to make sure that I do not embarrass our entire family. I want to thank her because my journey would not be possible without her sacrifices and support. My wife and my children also came to Durham, and I thank them for their loving kindness that they show me every day, and that is part of my armor. Class of 2022, thank you for welcoming me and allowing me to be a small part of your special day. I am deeply honored to be here with you today for your commencement from this fine institution. I congratulate you, class of 2022. You made it. It is great to be back in Durham on this warm spring day. One of my fondest memories of the university was in an afternoon philosophy class in Hamilton Smith Hall. Standing by the blackboard was the late Professor Duane Whittier. In those days, I was experiencing my first flash of political consciousness. I had traveled to New Hampshire from a Kenya undergoing the storm of democratization, like many other countries in those years following the demise of the Soviet Union. Prior to that democratic flowering, there had been books banned by the government to prevent their dangerous ideas entering our political bloodstream. Predictably, these were the first books I borrowed from Dimond Library. They seemed to me in that flash of youth to hold the keys to understanding why there was so much poverty and war in the world. I half digested their ideologies and made sure everybody heard about them. One day, after I had delivered a particularly strident diatribe, Professor Whittier asked me to stay behind after class. After all the students had filed out, he wiped the blackboard clean and asked me to write out my argument. I did so, and we went through it word for word. Professor Whittier was one for logic and process. He showed me in a really simple and gentle way how poorly I was making my argument. And in the years to come, I was taught by other professors in the philosophy department, Andrew Christie, William DeVries, Paul McNamara, Charlotte Witt, and others. They were exceptional teachers. Professor Christie in particular was also my advisor, defender, and friend. He retired from teaching yesterday, and what a gift he has been to this community. I'm fairly sure that Professor Whittier and his colleagues never understood what a powerful influence they had been to me. Because of them, I left New Hampshire with an unspoken but deeply felt desire to be intellectually honest and to exercise critical thinking. I believe these qualities have been hugely beneficial to me personally and professionally. That is what I want to speak to you about today. I anticipate that many of you, in fact all of you, will wield some form of power, not in the same proportions and certainly in different realms. There will be the kind you will have over your children, the kind that is possessed by managers in the private sector, which many of you are going to join, winners of elective office, and those appointed to senior positions in government. I hope to convince you why critical thinking and intellectual honesty are the most important qualities you can have to offer hope to a scared and scarred world, and how you as future leaders will need to use these habits of mind to navigate the dangerous corridors of power so that you do not destroy yourself or others. John Dewey, a great American philosopher, defined critical thinking as, and I quote him, the active, persistent, and careful consideration of a belief or supposed form of knowledge in light of the grounds which support it and the furthest conclusions to which it ends. Close quote. By intellectual honesty, I mean your personal commitment to be guided by evidence and rationality in your thinking and actions. In practice, it often means being willing to be wrong and to be seen to be wrong in front of others. To be intellectually honest is the opposite of dogmatic thinking. Dogma insists on fitting facts to a set of beliefs held with no regard to the evidence, or it is sustained by carefully screening out those with a contrary viewpoint who are likely to point out the contradictions in your argument. It has never been easy to not feel defensive when your arguments are questioned or even attacked. I believe it may be even more difficult today. So many of our views have become fused to our identities. To question our viewpoint can feel like an attack on our being. We live in an attention economy shaped by sophisticated political actors who know that fear and discord attract the most attention to their cause. They are the human versions of the social media algorithms that reward extremism and populism. It almost feels like we cannot be heard if we're not shouting someone else down. There is little space to accept doubt or to communicate limits to our actions for or against our point of view. We're being invited to draw black and white pictures with no gray. We are good and they are evil. Politically, there can only be Democrats or autocrats. We pronounce civilizational struggles to the death. My friends, these extreme expressions of opposed differences on the basis of identity have led to great harms throughout our history. The first half of the 20th century was filled with a similar ferment of identity-based politics. Hate was politics. Racism and ethnocentrism appeared to offer a clarity on which to build nations and empires. It led to the catastrophe of World War II. The tens of millions of fatalities and the almost complete destruction of countries led to the founding of the United Nations in 1945. The founding fathers of this great human enterprise were tough, battle-weary leaders. They were the winners of the most destructive war in modern history and were determined to extend the power of their countries. But they had also been humbled by the immense violence of the war, following, as it did, the disaster of World War I. They had watched in horror as blunders by leaders drunk with power and pursuing fevered dreams of racial and ideological purity ended up killing millions. They established the United Nations to be a forum of states that would enable a common rejection of aggression in order to save humanity from the kind of war they had just waged. They made respect for the territorial integrity, sovereignty, and political independence of all states the cornerstone of the UN, the peace the UN was meant to protect. No matter how small the state, it had the right to be treated according to these principles. They were basically applying brakes to the hubris and illusions of grandeur that had led to the pursuit of conquest. Dear friends, I have closely observed the workings of power, its effect on character, and how it is used by those who hold senior positions in governments and global organizations. Fortunately, I have been blessed to work with leaders who care deeply for our citizens. But in the cut and thrust of public life, and in the roles I have played in peace negotiations in our region and the security services, I have had the opportunity to observe powerful people up close. The fact of it is that the more power you have, the more you will need to be prepared for its demands, particularly if you are to wield it effectively and responsibly without destroying many others and eventually yourself. Let me explain what I mean. For the last 17 months, I have been a member of the United Nations Security Council as Kenya's permanent representative during our 2-year term. Our job is to protect international peace and security, and we have the power to bind all 193 member states of the UN to our resolutions. On most weekdays and the occasional weekend, we hear briefings and then debate about how to resolve ongoing conflicts. Today, there is a dangerous war in Ukraine that can escalate with extremely destructive effects. The countries of the Sahel are trying to survive the assault of determined terrorist groups wielding weapons they got from a Libya that had collapsed following a military intervention by NATO. The people of Syria continue to labor under unremitting violence and crushing sanctions. We're no closer to solving the Palestinian question. Al-Qaeda and ISIS affiliates and offshoots have sprung up in multiple African countries, with the international community showing only limited will to defeat them. This is only a partial snapshot of the horrors being visited on innocent men, women, and children all over the world. What every single one of these crises reflects is a deficit in leadership. Solving every single one of them requires leadership that is intellectually honest enough to not interpret every fact using a flattening, black-white, dogmatic ideology. This kind of leadership is becoming more difficult to provide. We hear too many leaders projecting a certainty that can only be maintained narratively, not by critical thinking. They constantly appeal to our visceral fear of strangers, to what divides us and not what unites us. They ignore our wonderful human complexity, insisting that we live in the single story that the Nigerian writer Chimamanda Adichie so memorably warned us against. Their worldviews are built on alternative facts and brutally flatten the world to enable actions that have no chance for success. It is these leaders whose countries are the subject of the Security Council's debates. They end up killing innocents, destroying the livelihood of millions, undermining institutions, and threatening peace and security. My friends, the actions of these leaders have massive consequences for their countries and the world. But they're not the only ones who can destroy. They have their counterparts in cities, towns, and companies all over the world. The same thinking that gets a world in trouble can be reflected in you who are sitting here for this commencement. It can lead you to destroy value that your professor was talking about, to destroy equity that leads to life-altering job losses. It can lead to unethical management. It can feed hatred and division in your community. The world is crying out for leaders at the global and local levels who can be bold in their actions while being responsible and humble about their limits. You have been given the intellectual tools to incorporate in your personal conduct. It is now up to you to transform them into a practice in your careers. To do so means you will need to start cultivating a habit of listening carefully to arguments against your position, to take time to listen to the sole voice in the room that seems out of step with the group. Before arguing back, carefully repeat the other person's position to make sure you are actually communicating with them. Be ready to change your mind if further evidence or consideration demands it. Speak up in acknowledgement that you were wrong and someone else was right. The more you practice this way of thinking and acting at the start of your careers, the more successful you will later be as a leader. I want to just quickly repeat that. You do not get to be a leader when you're a leader. You start to prepare long before to become the kind of leader we need. President Dean, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, class of 2022, let me bring this to a close. Never in human history have we had more wealth, technology, and know-how. Every single major challenge our communities, countries, and the world is facing can be solved. Every one of them, Paul, class of 2022, is an opportunity for you to make your career and your reputation. I hope that I have offered you some food for thought about tools that will be a great help to you if embraced and used. Thank you, and once again, congratulations to you all.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Kamani. We will now be introducing the recipients of the Granite State Awards. Ambassador Kamani received officially his honorary degree at the ceremony yesterday afternoon. Provost Jones.
President Dean. Whoops. Why don't you go ahead and stand up? President Dean, I have the honor to present to you the recipient of the Granite State Award. Jerry Ann Bogus, you are the Executive Director of the Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire and the founder and director of the Harriet Wilson Project. You are also the former Director of Diversity Programs and Community Outreach right here at UNH. Your dedication to studying and raising awareness of our state's Black history brings to light a more accurate and informed picture of our past. You began advocating for our state's Black history after you learned that your hometown of Milford, New Hampshire, was also the home of Harriet E. Wilson, who in 1859 became the first Black woman in North America to publish a novel. To commemorate her achievement, you established a nonprofit organization to erect a statue in her honor. You were named one of the 25 extraordinary women of Southern New Hampshire by the National Telegraph in 2015, and the 2017 Freedom Fighter by Seacoast NAACP. In 2015, you were honored by New Hampshire Humanities as one of the 40 most influential people who have vastly enriched human understanding. And in 2021, you received their Lifetime Achievement in the Humanities Award. Jerry Ann Bogus, we are honored to present you with the 2022 Granite State Award.
Jerry Ann Bogus, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University System of New Hampshire, I bestow upon you the Granite State Award, an honor reserved for those who have made exceptional contributions to the state of New Hampshire and to its citizens. Thank you, everyone. All of our honorees will always be proud members of the class of 2022. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. We will now continue with the recognition of our graduates. Graduates, please follow the instructions of the faculty marshals and stand when they direct you.
Here we go. Are you guys taking the cards? Are you taking the cards?
Yeah, you give me the cards.
Can you stand over here?
No, you sort of stand on this side.
I don't think I can do that.
The picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sarah Blampede, University Honors Program, summa cum laude, class marshal. Lisa Frederica Olson, summa cum laude, class marshal. Jacob Thomas Abdallah. Brooke Julia Edelman. Paige Elizabeth Albert. Konstantinos Andropoulos. Garrett Joseph Allen. Ryan McCallan Alley. Joseph Amati. Alexander William Amigo. Claire Teresa Anderson. Gracie Kina Anderson, summa cum laude. Daniel Sebastian Andrews, magna cum laude. Erica Lynn Antonellis. Caitlin A. Antonides, cum laude. Dylan Arno. Travis John Arnold. Sophia Rose Atillo. Dakota Elward Frank. Okay, let me hold them until I'm ready. Sophia L. Badala. Adam J. Costa. Joseph A. Bagarella, cum laude. Douglas Allen Barker. Rebecca Maggio Ballert, cum laude. Olivia Ann Balabanis, cum laude. Isaiah Barba. Sophia Susanna Barrett. Jenna M. Barrows, cum laude. Riley Barton Schwartz, cum laude. Emma Nicole Betticelli, cum laude. Anna Bayus. Jack Becker. Sean Charles Bedard. McGuire Patrick Began. Hannah Elizabeth Begley. Ian Bellino. Lillian Rita Bennett, summa cum laude. Ian Behrens. Nicholas Anthony Bernardo. Marco Pietro Benasconi. Eric Berry. Brandon Earl Berube. Charles John Biederman. Cecilia Bahari. Shane Christian Bilodeau. Jordan Marie Bohan. Emily Margaret Bolanino, cum laude. Christina Bomberg. Rachel Patricia Beck. William Bays. Sydney Ann Booth, magna cum laude. Andy Mino. Jack O'Hara Norton. Emma Bragg. Abigail Brandt. Sydney Claire Boulanger. Mark David Borak, summa cum laude. Zachary Broder, summa cum laude. Jack Dylan Brown. Tanner Mason Brown. Anders Christian Brucker, cum laude. Camille Bruin. Colin Jonathan Buckley, magna cum laude. Megan Ann Bufagna. Tasha V. Bowie. Brooke D. Burden. Kayla Rose Burgess. Spencer Burgess. Jacob Burhans, magna cum laude. Patrick Henry Burt. Amelia Catherine Burton, magna cum laude. Ian Bushnell. Stephen Michael Calandria. Logan Calzagini. Grace Camacho. Brendan Campbell. Timothy Mansfield Campbell, University Honors Program, magna cum laude. Keaton William Chapman. Benjamin David Capiello. Tijan Mark Celestin, magna cum laude. Trevor Carden. Mitchell Dreyer. Maxwell Chartier, summa cum laude. Stephen Charter. Austin Shawsey, cum laude. Thomas John Costa. Patrick John Carey. Maeve Elizabeth Carolyn, magna cum laude. Jihei Cha. Dennis Ernesto Chuckiewicz. Aaron Charles Surevoice. Joseph Cipollone. Eric Clayman. Matthew Clark. Benjamin Andrew Clement, cum laude. Connor Raymond Clifford. Ryan Edward Clifford. Hannah Lynn Cloutier, magna cum laude. Michael Ryan Clow, magna cum laude. Emma Rose Coakley, summa cum laude. Matthew Frederick Coda. Nathaniel Cohen. Christopher Matthew Cole. Catherine Lennox Cohn. Maxwell James Cooperman. Austin Joseph Correa. Patrick Joseph Cotter. Michael Thomas Corsell, magna cum laude. Andrew John Craddy. Tristan Crone. Dylan Cunningham. Matthew John Cunningham. Hartley Brooks Curran, cum laude. Emily Curtis. Ian Cameron Daly. Michael Bonin Dombach. Brian Robert Dankeys. Abigail Ann Dancerow. Catherine Virginia Davis. Garrett Davison. Kelsey Walsh Daw. Brian Michael DiCristoforo. Dylan Edward Degon. Catherine Grace Deibler. Caitlin Elizabeth Delaney. Dominic Joseph Delgavio. Carly Taylor DeMonch. Joseph Charles DeMarco. Keegan McLean Demers, cum laude. Owen Michael DeRocher. Lauren Catherine De Stefano, magna cum laude. Joseph M. Diamantopoulos. Drayton Reese Dill, summa cum laude. Adriana Dinsmore, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Dion, University Honors Program, magna cum laude. Brett Carl DeStasio, cum laude. Caitlin Dover. Ryan Daniel Dixon. Victor Giletto. Brett Kevin Dodier. Hannah Margaret Donahue, cum laude. Jack Ryan Donahue. Christopher Donnelly. Brendan Edward Donahue. Taylor David Donovan, magna cum laude. Colin Dow. Ryan William Dooley. Maria Eduardo dos Santos Koch, summa cum laude. Justin Angelo Dragone. Killian Michael Dowd, cum laude. John Lewis Driscoll. Mark H. Driscoll. Allison Patricia Duffy. Jacob Michael Duffy. Okay. Lindsay Dumont, magna cum laude. Jill Durkin, summa cum laude. Nicholas David Durling. Emily Dysart. Catherine Ann Edminster. Zachary Dean Edwards. Ryan P. Ellsworth. Eric Michael Esposito. Abigail Estabrook, summa cum laude. Lad Patrick Fagerson. Jack Falvey. Juliana Farnham. Liam Fay. Patrick Thomas Finney. Kathleen Frances Flath, summa cum laude. Jessica Caitlin Ferrari, cum laude. Kyle Robert Feria. Connor James Furtado. Nicholas Furness. Matthew David Freitas. Logan French. Brendan Paul Fraza, magna cum laude. Claudia Nicole Fox, cum laude. Ian David Frost. Natalie Gagnon, magna cum laude. Julie Gagnon. Ryan Stephen Gallagher. Olivia Eve Gallo. Tess Elizabeth Garrity. Elijah Robert Gumont, magna cum laude. Garrison Robert Gazvoda. Michael Austin Jenniker. Ethan Ryan Janelle. John Jersey. Luke Jersey. Zachary German. Anthony Richard Gianelli. Matthew David Gillespie. Lydia Jean Ginty. Kason Joseph Giordano. Ivy Rose Gogolian, summa cum laude. Nathaniel Oscar Goonan. John Michael Grace. Daniel Allen Graham. William Patrick Grakowski. Emily E. Graves, cum laude. Matthew Charles Gregg. Caitlin Ellen Griffin, summa cum laude. Curtis Cameron Grundy. John Joseph Gunther, cum laude. Brendan Gunnenhing. Harley Anna Guerreri. Ashim Chandra Gurung. Natalie Erin Hayden. Anya Hollick, summa cum laude. Kayla Hale. Megan Alexandra Hamill. Sailor R. Hamilton. Kelly Hamlin, cum laude. Alicia Hanlon, cum laude. Yes, ma'am. Christopher John Hansen. Elizabeth Grace Hart. Richard Uri Hartnett. Catherine Ellen Hawkinson, cum laude. Alexandra Gail Houghton. Tegan Healy, cum laude. John Maris Hellemanis, magna cum laude. Trenton Henrich. Paul Richard Hernandez, magna cum laude. Matthew James Hickman. Briella Hirsch, magna cum laude. Justin Hodson. Aiden Holland. Osho Omanai. Zachary Simpson Howard. Rachel Hooker, cum laude. Thomas Hooker. Catherine Marie Hopler, University Honors Program, summa cum laude. Robert William Horgan, summa cum laude. Nicholas Jeffrey Horn, cum laude. Ariana Jewel Horn, magna cum laude. Caitlin M. Howe. Desiree Hulisson. Benjamin Baker Humphreys. Gumsal Huang. Brian James Irusi. Lexi Ann Inglesi, magna cum laude. Haley M. Isdell, magna cum laude. Courtney Elizabeth Jakes, cum laude. Richard R. Jean. Ian Connor Jeffrey. Ryan Johnson. Ryan Dominic Johnson. Eleanor Johnston, magna cum laude. Justine Jonathan. Brianna Maureen Jones. Corey Robert Jones. Ethan Jones. Colin and Alexander Jowett. Nicole L. Justras. University Honors Program, magna cum laude. Yaniv Kapasan. Zachary David Keating. Jack Francis Kelly. Samantha Ray Kelleher. Cameron Michael Kelly. Liam Patrick Kelleher. Shane Patrick Kelly. Amanda Kelly. Jack Liam Kelly. Bailey Lucas Kierstead. Calvin Anthony Kobolinski. John Ernest King. Wesley Arthur Coonan. Alexander Liam Killian. Jacqueline Kraus, magna cum laude. Daria Sergiuna Kunasteva. Nicholas Joseph Kavakis. Donald Cornsey, magna cum laude. Colin Robert Kaczynski. Joseph Robert Knight. Lucas Earl Kenny. Reed Hobart Kirkpatrick. Stuart Dixon Kirkpatrick. Andrew Kibbe. Seth Michael Klukowski. Samuel Kehoe. Chun-Hui Lee. Avery Dorothea LaBerge. Kira Patricia Ledoux. Devin James LaFrance. Julia Ann Lambert, cum laude. Joseph Lampy, magna cum laude. Jude James Landers. Noah James Lapointe, University Honors Program, summa cum laude. Eleanor O'Connell Landry. Emma Catherine LaPasta. Jack Jarris Larsh, magna cum laude. Bryn Helen Claire Larkin, summa cum laude. Juliana LaRose. Henry Morgan Lavoie. Aiden Joseph Lawler. Jillian Lawrence. Jordan M. Lemieux. Dylan T. Lemus. Camden James Lino, summa cum laude. Ryan Lee. Adam Leach. Jonathan Leone. Cameron J. Lira. Nicholas Lester. Madison Helen Litka. Elizabeth Teresa Liberta. Jillian Emma Lacondra, magna cum laude. Isabel Carolyn Lopiano. Holly Claire Locasio. Zachary James Loesch, cum laude. Emily Marie McKay. Grace Olivia McDonald. Kayla Michelle Magwood. Daniel Mahoney. Nicholas Michael Malika. Hannah Nicole Minka. Thurston Randolph Mann, summa cum laude. Miles Michael Maloof, magna cum laude. Michael John Marino Babcock, summa cum laude. Brendan Marsh. Yeah, Brendan. Quinn Montegary, magna cum laude. Cameron Marshall. Julia Masterson. Shannon Maxey. Kieran McCormick. Kristen Mark McDonald. Kimberly McDuffie. Robert McGann. Sarah Joan McElroy. Andrew Kenneth McIntosh, summa cum laude. Evan James McFarland. Ryan Jacob Nader. Thomas Anthony Marr. Alexander Willem Meehan. Benjamin L. Merrill. Rebecca Evanson Milbury, University Honors Program, cum laude. Ashley Miles. Abigail Lauren Myers. Kelsey Ann McLeod. Peter Mitchell, magna cum laude. Andrew Robert McCallie. Nicholas Paul Molinaro. Nicholas Paul Mokas, University Honors Program, magna cum laude. Angela Marie Moken, cum laude. Merrimack Rose Moran, cum laude. Matthew Paul Marison. Michael Joseph Musali. Georgie Munich. Kayla A. Murphy. Lauren M. Murray, magna cum laude. Amy Musgrave. Phoebe Elizabeth Myers. Benjamin Todd Nato, magna cum laude. Jillian Catherine Nall. John McDougall. Liam Lake. Brian Joseph McNeil. Shane McEachern. Kyle Joseph McEachern. William Daniel McKinnon. Liam Alexander McDonald. Connor McDonald. Andrew McCallie. Cameron J. McNally. Kevin McGrath. James Edward McGrath. Daniel Willoughby. Morgan Taylor McKenney. Nicholas Meeker. Andrew Charles Meyer, summa cum laude. Sienna Maloney. Andrew J. Martineau. Matthew Peter Minton. Nicholas Anthony Malagia. Shane Murphy. Liam Morrissey, University Honors Program, cum laude. Mary Catherine Maynahan, cum laude. Abigail P. Myers, cum laude. Christopher Nanny. Dylan John Oakes. Matthew O'Neill. Benjamin Osage O'Connell, cum laude. Rory Frank O'Driscoll. Grace Alexandra O'Connor. Joshua Francis Napier. Katie Nestor. Julia Nichols. Kara Sheldon Noonan. Ethan William Oglesby. Emily Catherine O'Keefe. Andrew Scott Onofrio. Mehdi Aruji. Jared Willett. Tyler Brian Pakey. Victoria Marie Palumbo, magna cum laude. Fabiana Paulini, magna cum laude. Nicholas and Esteti Papa. Jacob Perilla. Elizabeth Potuk. Anthony Paul. Matthew Pepin. Matthew James Perry. Colin Christopher Peterson. Kyle Anthony Pettinelli. Stephen Simon Pan. Andrew Marcus Philbrick. Jordan Phillips. Raymond Joseph Finney. Kelsey Madeline Pichet. Devin Pierre Louis. Jackson Pearson. Jessica E. Pearson, summa cum laude. Ashley Pino, cum laude. Tanner Justin Mills. Harmony Moran, cum laude. Chloe Otterbeck. Alexis Pimentel, cum laude. Christopher Poss. Ethan Tucker Pollitt, University Honors Program, magna cum laude. Emma Deborah Porter, magna cum laude. Greg Jeffrey Podier. Nicholas Podol. Jack Potvin. Jack Pruitt. Leah L. Prentice. Andrea Michelle Price. Liana Diane Prine. Kayla May Prusik. Anna Evans Pies, cum laude. Wyatt DeVerlio Quinlan. Kevin Quinn. Ryan Anthony Quinn, summa cum laude. Robert Michael Raleigh. Catherine Joan Rasco, magna cum laude. Kyle Philip Raymond. Jake Lane Reardon. Tristan Rentasterona. Mackenzie Carolyn Redmond. Elisa Marie Reagan. Haley Amber Reef, cum laude. Thomas Reese. Erica Marie Reef, summa cum laude. Conrad Joseph Reynolds, magna cum laude. Kaylee Rose Reynolds. Hannah Shea Riley. Zachary Paul Rinkus. Armando Joseph Roberto. Robert Anthony Ritchie III, magna cum laude. Kagan Charles Robertson, summa cum laude. Lisa Ellen Robideau, magna cum laude. Shayna Lee Robinson. Abram Rock, summa cum laude. Vanessa Rosemary Rodolosi. Madison Blinn Rogers. Spencer Rooney. Sophia S. Ropp, summa cum laude. Mia Rosen. Adina Celia Rothbard, cum laude. Victoria Lauren Rothwell. Ashley Evelyn Brown, cum laude. Hannah Rose Rubenstein. William Evan Rudez. Brian Thomas Russo. William Sabatino. Marissa Michelle Sabia, cum laude. Matthew Alexander Sadowski. Mariana Salazar Sanchez. Maxwell Ruben Sally. Brooke Star Zamora, cum laude. Anna Maria Santa Rosa. Dana Saxby. Carolyn Lee Margaret Scanlon, magna cum laude. Andrew Duncan Schiller. Lucas Henry Schneer, magna cum laude. Evan Schwartz. Gregory Scott. Lily Alexis Scott. Alexander Sayek. Alex Samandel. Evan Shaw, magna cum laude. Tendrick Hollis Shaw. Samuel Shepard. Samuel David Slobin. John Dana Standish III. Gregory Charles Storer, magna cum laude. Catriona Shepard. Atola Shunumi. Daniel Edward Shoshanen. Patrick Shaughnessy. Andrew Shumsky. Samuel Siegel. Haley Simpson, cum laude. Maxim Sermayan. Stephen Simpson, cum laude. Caitlin Skehan. Diego Smith, magna cum laude. Ryan Smith. Carter Snow. Gabrielle Sott. Brooke Alexandra Susi. Catherine Susi, cum laude. Emily Soul, University Honors Program, summa cum laude. Rachel Elizabeth Spalding, magna cum laude. Cole T. Spence. Colin Gregory Sprague, Sophia St. Jacques, Wesley Stilson, Abigail Storer, Ian Edward Stromsky, summa cum laude, Emily Strout, Cameron Strukel, happy birthday, Brendan Paul Sullivan, cum laude, Madison Kathleen Sullivan, Mary Sullivan, Owen Sullivan, Zachary Swozo, cum laude, Catherine Swallow, summa cum laude, Emily Zubinski, Alexander Michael Turkson, magna cum laude, Cameron Tachas, University Honors Program, summa cum laude, Samuel Taub, James Tavalone, Jacob Texera, Meredith Thibodeau, cum laude, Matthew Thomas, Bridget Thompson, cum laude, Sean Philip Thorburn, Matt Tiller, Rika Tokuno, Joseph Francis Tubia, Nicholas Tui, Isabella Traeger, magna cum laude, Justin Trevisani, magna cum laude, Matthew Paul Tarosi, Eric Sang, John Joseph Talija, Ethan Timiensky, Cadence Turner, cum laude, Nathan Dwarog, Samantha C. Tyler, Michaela Caroline Valuzzi, Rosalie Varian, Ryan Michael Verrier, Catherine Ann Veazey, cum laude, Chloe Vile, Olivia Vile, Cole Vincenzi, Joseph Viola III, Ryan Visich, Evan Vogler, David Bowles, Margaret Wade, Brittany Marie Walker, Nathan Philip Walker, Ryan Wallace, Jessica Brooke Walsh, University Honors Program, summa cum laude, Kamal Warrow, Dylan Weir, Austin Wenzel, Theodore David Wishy, Elizabeth Ann Weston, summa cum laude, Matthew Whalen, William White, Riley Wigmore, Emma Wilkins, summa cum laude, Sarah Elizabeth Wilkinson, University Honors Program, magna cum laude, Jake Williman, Matthew Tanner Wilson, Hannah Worth, summa cum laude, Patrick Woolahan, Elizabeth Yabruti, Shreya Yathav, Brahim Yatim, University Honors Program, summa cum laude, Caitlin Yee, Nicole Yell, Ryan Zaya, Yuhi Zhang, Amanda Lim Zubricki, Emma Zupo, Rishab Thapa.
Could you say the student's name again? Because it was so... Kira Sheldon Nolan. Thank you.
I'm correcting a name. Kira Sheldon Nolan.
And now, for the conferral of degrees, will Dean Merrill Sands please come forward to present your candidates?
So here's the big moment. Will the faculty, class marshals, and candidates for the Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Science degrees in the Peter T. Paul College of Business and Economics please rise? President Dean, Provost Jones, it's my pleasure and privilege to present to you the bachelor's degree candidates from the Peter T. Paul College of Business and Economics.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University System of New Hampshire, I am honored to confer upon each of you the appropriate associate's or bachelor's degree with all the rights, honors, and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Will the class marshals now lead our graduates in moving their tassels from the right to the left side of their mortar boards? Let's do one more shout out. Congratulations, class of 2022, Paul Pride. Will the faculty and graduates please be seated? And speaking of Paul Pride, I'm going to go off script for 1 second and just say that I'd like to welcome and acknowledge Peter Paul himself, without whose generosity many of the advantages of Paul College would not be here. So thank you so much for joining us, Peter, and thank you for your generosity. I'd now like to virtually welcome Bridget Stewart from the class of 1996 and the president of the UNH Alumni Association Board of Directors. Bridget, I'm pleased to present to you the newest, first time you've heard it, UNH alumni, the graduates of the class of 2022. Bridget.
Congratulations to the UNH class of 2022. On behalf of all UNH alumni, congratulations on your graduation from UNH. You did it. Today, you become an official member of the UNH alumni community. Now you'll know what it truly means to be a Wildcat. As for Wildcats, we're known for being tenacious, gritty, innovative, resilient, and witty. We share a zest for life, fueled by our UNH memories that bond us to one another and to UNH. We are your people now. Your time at UNH has enlightened you, and now your UNH community will embrace you, enriching your days for a lifetime. So welcome to the UNH alumni family. We are 140,000 strong, spread throughout the globe. We know you're eager to go out and make your mark on the world, but remember, UNH will always be here for you. Make sure you come home and visit. At the very least, stay in touch. No excuses. UNH has an Instagram account. University of New Hampshire, class of 2022. Your fellow UNH alumni congratulate you on your accomplishments and graduation. President Dean, at this time, I'm very pleased to induct into the University of New Hampshire Alumni Association the graduates of the UNH class of 2022. Congratulations to all of you.
Will everyone please rise and join the UNH Chamber Singers virtually lead us all in the singing of the alma mater. New Hampshire.
Will
Class of 2022, I encourage you to remember, share, and honor the story of your time at UNH. You'll be forever a proud part of the UNH family. Thank you for giving us so much to celebrate today, and thank you everyone for being part of it. At this time, as we close the ceremony, we ask that you remain in your seats while the platform party recesses. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations.